Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. Quick look again at Dogecoin, double checking some important factors here. We can see that we are starting our retracement here. Obviously, it's happening with a lot of coins, but there's a general consensus here that we might be beginning our ABC pattern here and that we might see some lower lows further down as low as about 13 cents or potentially even below that point. Again, 66,000 for Bitcoin right now is dropping. We can see a lot of coins are plummeting. So again, interesting stuff to say the least. If we take a look at our premium group, there we go, near protocol, 30% on the way down. Congrats to our community members for that. We also took some nice profits with our day trades. I'll spare you that for the moment, but let's go ahead and quickly look at some backend data here for Dogecoin and kind of see what's going on here, okay? So Dogecoin, the thing I also want to recognize too, or we want to talk about, is the previous moving averages. Now, I'll talk about that when we pull up the chart, but those were some important areas we were focusing on before. And it does look like here we got a lot of liquidation above the price action, but still that 12.5 cent mark. That's really close to some of those moving averages I was talking about, holding some support in the price action, but we're not there yet. Again, it's all hypothetical until we look at the charts. Just want to let you know that that is an area that we need to pay attention to, that 12.5. It's just below the most recent low. Okay, so again, 12.5, we look here on the charts, is right here, right in this range, this 0.382 fib level. It's basically one of the more recent points of control, and that's an important level to focus on. Okay, so again, I think 12.5 would be an excellent bouncing point. We might see something along these lines here, where the price action comes down to bounce off that level and continues a little bit lower, or it just kind of stays where it's at. We see a slight relief rally and the price action recovers. So a lot of different scenarios here, but the focus here, I would say, is to make sure that you understand that 12.5 is an area that may likely get retested, and if it is, then we would like to kind of maybe consider buying that dip. And again, it's not just a blind spot bag purchase at this point here. We want to look at other things first, but generally speaking, that's the kind of dip I'm referring to. It isn't a high leverage 100x long position at 12.5. That is considered to be reckless, and we don't do that in trading, do we? All right, anyways, if you're watching my channel, if you've been watching for a while, you'll realize that that's really just not how trading is. Trading is all about risk tolerance and making sure that you make good informed decisions, and you increase your statistical likelihood of success by taking a look at the charts and understanding the general patterns that are forming, okay? That's all we're doing here. So we got a second stochastic swing to the downside, starting with some bearish divergence. That is essentially a very strong one, right? You never just jump in blindly to a first stochastic swing. You look at the second one because the second one retests the resistance level and is likely going to be holding that level strong. If we do take a look here, we can see money flowing out of the coin, obviously, no surprise there. And when the actual RSI is over 50. So that's still bullish in a lot of ways. We're over the 50 on the RSI, sorry, the money flow index is coming down, but when we look at the 200-day SMA and the 50-day SMA, we're kind of right there at that point. So depending on how today's candlestick closes will determine a lot about where the price action is going to go. In other words, being over the 50 is good, being under the 200 is bad, right? But we're kind of right in the middle. So what you can kind of consider that as is kind of like a fair to middle. It's a neutral scenario there where it doesn't give you a confirmation in either direction. The key takeaway is we're over 50 on the RSI, but we're also getting rejected by this descending trend line. So my speculation here is until we break above this descending trend line, which has been occurring for some time, we're not going to be in a good position to consider that, okay? So again, just depends on how you look at it, and obviously it depends on the time frame you look at too, because the daily time frame tells us a little bit different story than the 4-hour. Let's quickly note the moving averages here. We're below 50 on the RSI. That's generally a disadvantageous sign. However, we're maxed out on stochastic RSI here, letting us know that we've pulled back pretty hard. While that can plateau for a long time, that could imply that we might see a bounce here soon. So 13 cents, nice round number, might be the point of reversal. My speculation though here is that since we're under 50 on the RSI, we're more likely to continue lower because we've broken bearish. That's generally a bearish sign, because if you look at its history, for example, let's just take a quick look. There's where 50 on the RSI was lost, and here's where it was regained. Okay, so just to give you perspective, the charts did this after we lost 50 on the RSI, and once we regained 50 on the RSI, the chart inevitably did that. Okay, again, not exact science, but you can see a correlation, right? Below 50 is a bad sign, above 50 is a good sign. All right, so we're breaking below that right now. All snide aside, what we can see here is that we are still over 50 on the RSI. That's not a bad thing. There's still some support. So what I'm getting at here is that the daily and the 4-hour time frame both have divergences that are mostly momentum based. The supports that we have are based on longer term moving averages. So we're generally in favorable position right now for Dogecoin, but the general consensus to me is that the shift in momentum is occurring, and a lot of it hinges on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is retesting that low 66K mark, and we lose that level. It's a strong consideration for the price action to continue a lot lower. Again, 12.5 would be that point of contention. So me personally, if I'm going to buy any dip, I feel 12.5 is a pretty solid consideration, considering how much control we have at that level based on volume, and that being a previous support level based on a few other moving averages. So hourly time frame, let's note this here. This is 3 out of 3 glaringly obvious reasons to not necessarily consider a short, but to absolutely have closed your long in profit. If you didn't close your long in profit by now, I don't know what the hell you're doing. This is just crazy to me that people, these moon boys, seem to think that everything's going to the moon because we have a nice little bullish pump. Bitcoin's topped out. It has been for a while. We're due for a correction. It just makes sense. Coins like this are going to also pull back, especially when Bitcoin dominance starts to increase, which we're seeing now. All that combined together, we look at this, the lagging span is free and clear. Conversion lines below the baseline, giving us good momentum, and we're now below the cloud. So my speculation here is that the price action, if it does return and recover, we're going to see rejection right here at this level at about 13.75, round number 13.5, just to give you perspective there. So a lot of times when you see ABC patterns happen, if we do see a relief rally, it'll look something along these lines here. Okay, a little dead cat bounce, price pulls right back. Okay, again, a lot of different scenarios that could unfold, but me personally, I'm subscribing to the thought process that 12.5 will be hit, and I'm going to set an alert there and consider an entry at that level. When I say consider an entry, I'm not just blindly setting a limit order right now for, again, a 50, 100x leveraged long position with a high position size. That is foolhardy. That's absolutely ridiculous. Nobody should be doing that. I know people online are showing you how successful they are doing that. They're not showing you how many bad trades they are taking to get there. Okay. Again, I guess bad press is good press no matter what, but this is just not something you play around with. Anyways, I try to take trading seriously, and again, if you want to do so, maybe you should join our Trading Academy community signals group, link down below. To our newer members who have joined in our Discord, make sure you reference our signals guide. There's a lot of good information here to help you get on track with low risk trades and even high risk if you consider that. Again, a lot of different scenarios, but trade alerts is a good section too. That's a very new section, and I also showing my charts as well. So again, it's all available for you there. Jump on over to our Discord, Telegram, or Twitter. That's here also too if you're considering it. And just for the record, we're bearish on ICP. All right. Thanks again so much for joining me, folks. Hope you have a great rest of the day. We'll see you the next one. Take care.